When it comes to thank you notes, there are a few questions that are there on candidates' minds. So I think, should you send it? When should you send it? What should be the content of the email or the note that you send, and who do you send it to? So we'll discuss each point one after the other. I think should you send it? Yes, definitely. I believe it's very important to send a thank you note, irrespective of what in your mind the outcome of the interview was, or what happened during the interview. It's always professional to send out a thank you note. Even if you haven't been getting responses, I think from your side it's important for you to send it. Don't expect a response from the other side. So that's not debatable as to should you send it or not. I really think you should send it. Now, when do you send out a thank you note? So I would say send it out within about 24 hours of the interview, or if you're interviewing before a holiday or a Friday or something like that, then send it out the next business day. So the reason for this is you are uh, fresh enough in the minds of the interviewer so that they remember you. And a lot of times they have to go back and take notes and provide feedback and stuff like that. So when you send it out, you're fresh, and they remember you when you do something like that. And then the next thing is kind of related to the when as well, as to what do you send. And I would say that kind of depends on whether you're sending it to each interviewer, or you are sending it as a group thank you note to the recruiter. Now, if each interviewer gives you their email address, then definitely send out a thank you note to each one of them. And what should be in it is, one, thank you for taking your time to speak to me, and I'm grateful. And I think the next thing that you should talk about is either a question that you really enjoyed saying, hey, I really like this question that you asked me. It was great. And or the other thing that you can talk about is, here's the discussion that we had, which I really enjoyed. So I really enjoyed talking about market trends, or X, Y, and Z with you. So thank you for that. Now, what not to send is also very important. Is uh, don't try to justify what you said during an interview, or said that, or say something like, hey, I know I didn't answer this question well, give me a second chance, or I didn't do this well, or don't your thank you note should be a thank you note and a positive thing, and not something where you're going on an ego ride trying to explain your point or stand firm ground if you disagreed with the interviewer. Because all that does is to bring back negative emotions and negative memory to the interviewer. And if you're talking about somewhere where you did well and said, give me a chance, sometimes if they have forgotten that, then you're bringing that back to their memory. So avoid talking about the negatives, talk about the positives, talk about saying, hey, thank you for taking time to speak with me and stuff like that. And I touched upon who to send it to. So if you have the email addresses, especially if they have given it to you, you obviously don't want to stalk them, or guess their email address, first name dot last name, and things like that. So you don't want to do things like that. If you have their email addresses, if they gave it to you, or if the recruiter gives it to you, then definitely send them individual thank you notes with individual specific points of what you liked. Else, just send a generic email to the recruiter saying, thank you. I'd like to thank the panel. I'd like to thank all the folks that interviewed me, and it was a great conversation, and some of the questions that I liked were this, and this, right? So make it generic and send it out to the recruiter. So to summarize, I would say, should you send it? Definitely yes. When to send it? In about 24 hours or one business day. What to send? Simple. Thank you for taking your time, and here's what I enjoyed in terms of the discussion or the question. Who to send it to, depending on whether you have the email address or not. Send it to individual folks or send it to the recruiter. And what not to send is, definitely don't make this an ego play for you. Okay, good luck.